You're listening to the Blues Room live at Fleetwood's, and our guest tonight is Slim Man and his band. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Thomas Grooms.
You're now pretty much solidified with this band. Yeah. Who is in your band for 1996 and what's ahead?
On the drums is John E. Cole. On guitar is Shay Welsh. Saxophone, Michael Noel. And on keyboards, Uncle Rick O'Rick.
You have a new CD coming out. I know you're excited about that.
Yeah, we just spent about, 19 hours a day for the last 46 days in the studio finishing the CD. Tomorrow, we do the last couple of hours, and then it'll be released around February. It's called The Language of Love.
Now, you're playing at Fleetwood's tonight for your second time, but there's a story how you started to play here. One night you just fell by and got up there and played with Mick.
Yeah, we started jamming on stage. They invited me up to play bass, and I did a couple songs that I sang a couple of songs. I think I sang All Hied Up, and I think Mick Fleetwood just went nuts, and he said, we got to have that guy back.
You also did some Freddie King.
Yeah. I love the blues. I played in the blues band with John E. Cole at a little bar in Fells Point, Maryland, a very famous little place called The Horse You Came In On. And we used to have a 3-piece blues band, and we used to write a lot of blues stuff, play a lot of blues for years. How long we do that gig, Johnny?
I was with you about a year, a little more than a year.
See? Years. It just seemed like years.
For a while before I got that gig with you.
We had different drummers in the blues band, and Johnny Cole, when he finally sat in, it was like that. We need that guy all the time, and ever since Johnny Cole sat in the blues band, he's been involved in every project we've been involved with.
That's why we lost that gig, too. Getting the band, lose the gig.
You guys are playing the premier club in the United States here, Jazz and Blues Club Fleetwood's. How do you like the club?
It's definitely the nicest club we've played, and not only does it look nice, they gave us a deli platter, they feed us, and there's beer on ice, which has never happened to us before. We've never been considered a deli platter kind of band, but now we've kind of made that jump thanks to Fleetwood's.
As far as acoustics go, John Remedini has it all together?
It's the best sounding club around. It's got that, I think it's got to do with that glass like thing over top, the balcony that you overlook. It's like, gives it a nice acoustic thing. And we're going to be playing every Wednesday night in January at Fleetwood's in Alexandria, Mick Fleetwood's famous, legendary blues and jazz club.
Is there any chance you'll be playing with Mick again?
I hope so. He's one heck of a drummer.
How do you guys like the club?
Oh, it's great, man. Everybody's really nice. It's kept very well, and people know what they're doing here. Sounds good. The people that work here, they know what they're doing. John does a good
food.
The food is, well, I don't feel too well right now, but no, it's really good.
How about you? You've been to a lot of venues.
Yeah, I think this club is was set up for the musicians, and I think the musicians can feel it. You're just always comfortable. The stage is great, the monitor system, yes. And it's just set up that way. One of the only clubs where they really look out for the musicians, so it's great to play here.
What's ahead for Slim Man and his band in 1996?
We released the album in February, and then we're all going to pile into the Isuzu Rodeo and drive across the United States for 3 months, starting in March. We're going to go to Cleveland, San Francisco, Monterey, San Diego, Denver, New Orleans, Dallas, Kansas City.
Why don't we play something off the new album and give people a sneak preview? Why don't you pick something and set it up, and we'll fire it up?
Let's do the title track, The Language of Love.
Is there a story behind this?
It was the last song that we recorded for the album. Like, from the first album, End of the Rainbow, the last track that we recorded for it was a song that we weren't really sure about. We stuck it on there. It was a song called Faith in Us. It went to number 7 on the jazz chart. And we hadn't recorded this song. It was the very last thing we did. It's a song called The Language of Love, and we're hoping to have the same luck with that one that we did with Faith in Us.
Here's Slim Man, live in the Blues Room, live at Fleetwood's.
Whoa, ho, ho.
You're listening to the Blues Room live at Fleetwood's. Our guest is Slim Man and his band. Some of your influences when you were starting. You told me once you did meet Jimi Hendrix, you admired him.
Yeah. It was just a chance meeting. I mean, I loved Hendrix from, the first album was just the best thing I'd ever heard. And I went to see him live at the Civic Center in Baltimore, Maryland. I was the first one in line. I walked right into the arena, walked right on stage through a set of steps and hid behind a curtain. Cactus opened up, and while Cactus was playing, somebody came beside me and nudged me and said, "This guy's a really good guitar player," and it was Jimi Hendrix. I mean, I didn't shake his hand. I never met him. I couldn't say anything. I just stood there. My friend did the same thing. He was on the other side of the stage, and he saw me. He's like pointing at me and going, "Slimmy, it's Jimmy." But I met him. He went out and did the show, and I mean, I didn't really meet him. He just came up and nudged me, and I stood by him, I guess for about 20 minutes, 3 or 4 songs.
Cactus definitely were ahead of their time. They had Tim Bogart, who was in Vanilla Fudge.
Great bass player. Did they have who did they have on drums? Was it Carmen Apis?
Yeah, they had Carmen. They had the guy from Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheel.
Playing guitar, right. A great band, and he was really impressed by the guitar player, and we just stood side by side, like 20 minutes with Jimi Hendrix. I never said a word, though.
What kind of music do you listen to when you're relaxing?
I love everything. The CDs that are in the car are Chet Baker, Miles Davis. The early jazz trumpeters I liked a lot just because my dad played them all the time when I was growing up as a kid in Baltimore.
What do you think's ahead for blues and jazz in the 1990s? Are people becoming more receptive to it? Is it recycling? Is there a resurgence?
I think the 90s, it is so wide open. There are so many styles of music in the top 10, from Tony Bennett to Snoop Doggy Dogg to blues to alternative bands and Hootie and the Blowfish. I mean, it's just wide open. I think that every musical style is. There are so many bands out there. There's so much music. There's so many radio formats that it's just become splintered. And that what's jazz, sometimes isn't jazz, and what's alternative really isn't alternative, and it's just wide open. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I don't think anybody can predict what's going to happen at the turn of the century. I mean, it has never been so wide open as it has right now in the 90s.
Well, Slim Man, best of luck in 1996 to all you guys with your new CD. You want to set something else up before you split? We'll play something else from the new CD.
We were going to call the album Closer to Paradise after this next song. It's a song called Closer to Paradise. It's one of the first songs that I wrote for the album.
That's great. Well, we hope to see you all back here real soon, like next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be here.
We'll be here.
Thank you, Slim.
Thank you, Thomas.
Wouldn't it be sweet, maybe just you and me?